Can you help the sigil-ridden navigator? If anyone could assist him, it would surely is the Couturier. A grim headshake. The sigil is an outside power, she says, and it's consumed too much of him. If I cut it out, there would be nothing left. Well, that's a grim forecast for whatever's going to happen when I take him to King Eater's castle. A boarding action. A sudden boil of bodies at the rail. While your sailors were sighing over the sights of London, armed foreigners were slipping up the side of the ship. They wear tight-fitting dark uniforms and carry complicated multiplicities of blades. The Presbyterian adventuress curses apologetically. Out of time, she says. Presbyterian adventuress. She's in the freaking Empire of Hands. Is this weird? Assassins from the college. Yes, they're here for me. No, I didn't mention it. Yes, you're right to be cross. If you want to give me up, that's fair. She offers you her pistol. I'd listen to her, one of the assassins adds in perfect English. This is a sacred duty. We'll pay you a sacred price. Okay, 1 minute. Oh, no, it's her. No, there's another adventuress. That's why I got confused. So that is who I'd be giving up. 50-50 shot if I want to keep her. I mean, we do have other gunnery officers. That is the truth. But this also is obviously going to mean, like, we don't get to learn any more about her quest or why assassins are after her or anything else. But on the other, this seems like it would be a really bad one to fail. And it's a 50-50 shot. Thoughts, opinions? Bill said it's 51%. It's still basically a coin flip. I mean, we don't have any wounds right now. I mean, she is the officer that we're using, so, like, she offers the better stats than the others do, so there's that. And I also just kind of want to know what's happening here. Alright, we're gonna try it. A furious defense. The assassins fight fiercely and in near silence. Your crew sunders the silence with yells and shots, and the adventuress outdoes them all with whoops of fierce delight. At last you drive the assassins back over the side. They take to their coracles and wisp into the night. Your casualties are lighter than you'd feared. All right, the adventuress says, lowering her blade. All right. Oh, and thanks, she adds, almost as an afterthought. So that was us succeeding. We still lost a crew succeeding, but it definitely could have been much worse, and we did gain an iron. But it's like, seriously, we wander around with the 20-point iron bonus for ages. No iron challenges. We take it off for a bit to deal with other stuff. All the iron challenges. Explain. Ask the adventuress why you've been ambushed by assassins from her homeland. I owe you an explanation, don't I? What I'm about to tell you is a deep secret. A college secret. People have died. I owe you an explanation. None shall live 1,000 years. And the Presbyterian in the south were close to the mountain and far from the sun. So we could live forever were that permitted. It isn't. The law is none shall live 1,000 years. My father made it to 1,011. She grins with shamefaced pride. Good for him, bad for his children. The law for me is thou shalt not live 100 years. I'm out of time. That's why I left the Navy. The college will get to me. They always do in the end. And I can't keep letting other people die for me. She stands to go. Will you help me find a way to die well? In a battle would do, or a duel. I don't want to be, just shot by a pirate, eaten by a shark. I want people to talk after I'm gone. She offers you her hand. I'm sorry. Gained a pages and a secret. Alright, we'll try to sort that one out. From Consart again. Okay, we'll need to stop there. We also want to go get Muter Salt, so I guess we're doing another, like, northern loop. I really want to head south, but we need Muter Salt, and we need to get this sorted, so... We're also going to visit the Forgotten Quarter, because we have the Mirrors bonus up, and this was one of the things we wanted to use it for, and we need to make sure we visit the Brass Embassy as well, so let's Brass Embassy first. Pass on your independent verification. It doesn't mean much to you, but perhaps it will to your interlocutor? Interlocutor? That's a new one on me. A traitor. How interesting. And unfortunate. This directly contradicts the Devilis's information. Well, treachery is to be expected. I wish she hadn't been so... Bill, how do you pronounce that? Gauche. Okay. It's like, it's a word that I know what it means, but I've never actually heard it out loud. And I figured maybe Bill would have a shot because he knows a little bit of, I assume that's French? Anyway, but that's the Brimstone Convention for you. Alright, let's go to the Forgotten Quarter. Open the way to the Forgotten Quarter. My revenge waits for me there. I'll need honey to navigate the dreams. Can you, lend me a barrel of the stuff and help me with the dreaming? I will show my gratitude when the time comes. Well, this is the best mirrors you're ever going to get out of me, buddy, so a 37% chance is going to have to do. A storm of skulls. You and the magician run through a dream of Heath under a grinning weather that pelts you with bones. Wrong way, he shouts. This is a trap. Wake up. We can keep trying. It's obviously going to take more and more honey, but we had 2 barrels. We could have used it to buy more Blimigans, but screw it. We're going to keep trying. Nope. All right, we're going to need more honey, and until then, we're stuck with this freaking mirrors bonus. Gonna need to figure out where we can buy that stuff. Well, actually, we can buy it here. It's 25 frickin' echoes a barrel, but we can, and we're gonna buy a barrel. Come over here. Try again. Okay, there are different failures, but I'll read it. You recline with the magician in a carefully dreamt paradise of crimson moss. Intoxicating wines fall in sudden squalls from the heavens, soaking through your skin, leaving you giddy and delighted. There's something we should be doing, you both agree. Perhaps we'll remember when we wake. Yeah, I got excited when I saw that at first, because I'm like, oh, it's a different one. No, it's just a different failure. Nope. And yes, I will just keep driving the terror through the roof, because I can literally leave London and come back and it'll lower to 50. So we should be okay. Thank you. At least a couple hundred echoes worth of prisoner's honey later. A road of roses. Prisoner's honey transport the dreamer's body as well as mind. You walk beside the magician along a path lined with watchful black roses. The rosers built this way, he says. Another of Parabola's servant peoples. It pleases me to use it against the kings of that place. Look, the light up ahead. When we wake, we'll know the way to the quarter. Obtain an eyeless skull from a forgetful archaeologist. What? Who? Take it. One secret and it's yours, isn't it? The skull is tainted with Irigo radiation, which will damage your primary abilities. Don't purchase it unless you're sure you want it. Okay, I think we're just back in the Forgotten Quarter now. So that's not something we need to do, like, before we leave the dream or anything. So we're obviously not going to grab that unless we actually know what we need it for. Right now, we don't know what we need it for. So we'll figure that out later, maybe. And for now, let's ask the magician what his plan is. A prison for serpents. My enemy, he explains, roams the mirror marches at the edge of parabola. He taps the wooden statue. I've baited this image with the sense of life. My enemy will enter and be ensnared, and then we can put its power to use, you and I. He frowns. There's a possibility it will enter me instead. Quite a real possibility. Should that occur, I trust you will murder my stolen body and fling it in the sea. We could try to dissuade him. It's a 60% shot. We could also just, hold off on this until there's a few things we need the hearts bonus for. We could go get the hearts bonus. I guess do a tour of the abysses and also try to dissuade him from his plan, because 20 more hearts would probably take this from a 60% to at least a 70-something%, if not higher. If we wanted to try to dissuade him. Or we could give him the 1 scintillac and 3 secrets and say, off you go. Where I go alone, but I must ask your help. I know you've already been a good friend to me, but this is the last thing I will ever ask of you. Perhaps not quite the last thing. If something else comes back wearing my body, you will see me drowned, yes? Please. Thoughts, Bill? Give him what he needs or come back with a hearts bonus and say this is a bad idea. You want to try to dissuade him. I mean, I am kind of curious to see what happens. And we're not even using him as an officer. And I'm kind of mad at him about that prisoner's honey. Alright, here you go. A hard victory. He is gone, as he told you, for 11 hours exactly. You wait in the old caravanserai at the quarter's edge. Blue lights flicker in the mist. An unlikely wind stirs your hair. And here he is. He staggers out of the mist. Blood trickles from his eyes, but he is smiling. An exhausted, desperate smile. He clasps your hand and leans on your shoulder all the way back. Share a toast with the satisfied magician. The magician will not speak precisely of what happened there in the Forgotten Quarter, but he proposes a toast to the ensnarement of serpents. Cheerful banter. The magician is slower to smile than he was, but the smile, you think, is more sincere. He has no plans to leave the sea or your service. I owe this victory to you, he says. He looks down at the serpent image where it sits in his lap. Its wooden eyes seem to brim with furious desperation. And this will permit some partial repayment of my great debt to you. Speak to me later. Oh, and we lost 10 terror, so that at least offset some of the problems that all of the failures with mirrors caused, and we gained a mirrors. He wants us to speak to him, which we're going to try to do now. It's possible that time might have to pass, but we'll try. However, before I do that, well, actually, yeah, we can just speak to him without leaving, hopefully. If we end up having to leave, then I'll have to complete some other business in London first. Wait, he can construct the Serpentine? I thought that was the Tireless Engineer's thing. Maybe the Tireless Engineer does a different thing? Okay. Okay. We'll get that sorted. A weapon of revenge. I will set my enemy at the heart of an engine. I will make him a beast of burden. But I'm going to need a dry dock and some money. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Kind of wishing we'd done this before we bought the new engine. If I'd known we were that close to getting the Serpentine, I thought we had to go through the whole quest with the Tireless Magician. I thought that's how you got the thing. Bill, feel free to look up the Serpentine and just tell me if there are multiple ways of getting it, or if this is the only way of getting it and I was just completely wrong about what the Tireless Engineer gives. Oh, I'm mixing up my engineers. I think I said Tireless Magician at one point. Okay, so the tireless mechanic he gives something else. I don't need to know what it is, but presumably he gives something else. And I just mixed up their quests. Happens. Yep, make the thing. But yeah, if I'd realized we were this close to getting it, I would not have bought a new engine, so that was a slight mistake. Serpent's prison. I have set him within a cage of fire. He can look all he likes. He can rage all he wants. His hungers will drive us across the sea. I think he's also giving higher stat bonuses now, because now he gives Vale 6, Mirrors 5, Hearts 1. However, I still prefer Vale 6, Iron 3, Engine Power plus 100 from Maybe's Daughter, or Vale's 8 and maybe Fuel Efficiency, although honestly I think Maybe's Daughter is still a better pick out of all the engineers. However, if we specifically need mirrors or hearts, I honestly probably should have had him equipped while we were doing the mirrors challenges. Bill, please remind me that sometimes switching officers is a good idea. There were people probably screaming at the screen over that, although it probably would have only made like a 2% difference at best. So I doubt it would have really helped, but... Okay, so at this point, yeah, his quest is done. And we have the Serpentine.